Do you really watch Shin-chan season like 29?
To go to bed.
Very nice, very nice. So
it's
goofy,
it's fun. Why not? He's got a little penis. It's shaped like an elephant.
My God, Jesus Christ!
Sharing the important facts with the audience.
I just wanna. When it's late at night and I need to fall asleep, I just need to, listen to some guy that's got a little penis.
Nothing tuckers me out.
You want to know penis. What? It's a big part of the show. So there. So sue me.
All right, guten tag, bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes. This is Pax. You are listening to Brotakus, the show where a bunch of people who love anime do a deep dive on what isn't worth watching. We believe you do not need a major in anime studies to enjoy this wild, beautiful, strange art form. We are lucky to have you on this journey with us. We love you deeply and personally. No parasocial relationships. If you listen to the podcast, we're actually best friends in real life. You could find where I live. Start wearing the same clothes as me, like SpongeBob and Patrick. It could just be a complete reenactment. Take over my life, slowly start reintegrating, make friends with my friends, eventually kill me, bury me in the backyard. Brotakus is yours now, and that's what we're all about here in Brotakus. Spreading the ownership of the podcast to the people. We do this for the masses. Joining us on the
Power
podcast
to the people.
Joining us on the podcast today are Henry and Anna, our New York-based social media babies, our co-hostesses with the mostesses. What's going on, y'all?
We're doing good.
We're doing great, guys.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Or I guess afternoon. It's 1 o'clock while we're recording this. Hello!
Hello. Hal is out today. Hal is currently very, very sick and manifesting a stand. There are strange markings appearing on his body. On his chest, a strange tattoo that just spells out Ligma is slowly growing in his own veins. We're trying to figure out what his stand power is going to be. Leave a message in the YouTube comments if you have any ideas today.
Oh, damn. I didn't know he came down with Ligma. I hear that's terminal.
It's very unfortunate. It's the Ora, except it's oral. Oh, it's the zinger hour on Brotakus.
Ow.
Jesus Christ. All right, everybody, today, we've been thinking, man, oftentimes we do a deep dive, big ass review on one episode or on one anime, and that is popular, that is good. Those are swell things for us to do. But really, we think we could do better. We can get our numbers up because there are so few of us and so many of anime. And so,
we're vastly outnumbered.
Vastly. It's like you mentioned in the pre-chat, it's the Piper Perry scene, but it's us and anime all around us.
Oh boy.
I'd ride that train.
Getting spit roasted by anime. So today we are doing what is likely to be a reoccurring segment, which is a spring anime rundown. We are going to talk about
Roundup.
Run the jewels, baby. We are going to be talking about these. I guess we haven't even talked about like the seasonal anime structure. I think a lot of our listeners who just like will pick something up on Netflix don't really like understand like the drops and like the hype train in the schedule. Would one of you kind of like to explain that aspect of otakudom?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you. It's my turn to talk. So the way a lot of anime production works is that there are about 4 seasons in a year. There's like winter, spring, summer, fall. You know how seasons work, and that's
for all of our season heads out there. Little known fact about the year.
Tell me your favorite season in the comments.
Drop it in the comments. Get up the engagement.
Of course it is. And so there's like a pretty much a constant churn of new anime throughout the year. There will be like a few new shonen, a few new shoujo, some slice of life, some moe, some sports stuff. There's a little bit of everything every season. So if you have a particular genre that you care about, you can track something like that. It's just like, and as soon as one show ends, new shows start popping up. So it does sort of become a bit of a churn, but it's all new and good and fun stuff.
And there's always something for everyone. So find something you like every season and just stick with it. And then something will come to replace it that'll probably be pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. An anime is for everybody. Except you, Paul from Cedar Rapids, if you're listening.
Fuck you, Paul!
Fuck you, Paul. If we have a listener out there like that, go ahead, run back to IGN Anime Club. We don't want you here. Everyone else is welcome except you, Paul. So that was a great summation of it. And part of the reason why there's so much, I think, content creation around anime is because the hype train never ends. Like, the second you have a wrap on one season, it's already on to the hype season for the next season, and it's just, like, so expansive and huge. So before we get into doing the rundown of, like, the definitive guide for every anime that exists this spring, what must be watched, Anna, did you have any updates for news that the people should know about?
There are a few exciting things happening, and I have a list of it on my phone. So the Gundam Seed director actually just announced that a film is going to be a sequel to Destiny, and I'm really excited about that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And Platinum N just casted its first anime voice actors in Japan. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing Kaito Ishikawa in something again. So I cannot wait.
Oh,
Remind the
awesome.
listeners where they might know Kaito Ishikawa from. Because, of course, I know, but we want to share with you.
Kaito Ishikawa has been in Free, has been in Haikyuu, has been mostly doing a lot of sports anime work, and is now going to be in this cool, like, punk rock, cyberpunk anime, and I'm going to be seeing him doing something different, and I'm really, really excited.
Hell yeah.
Oh, awesome. So, with that said, shout out to all our Kaito Ishikawa heads, all of our sports heads, our season heads out there. We are going to dive in. A quarter of our listeners, you spring heads who are familiar with the season of spring, are in luck today.
You might have heard of her.
I'm losing my mind. We're talking about the anime that's on this season, y'all. So, starting off with our spring anime rundown, Anna, actually, could you pick something off your list and start spitting your shit about it?
Well, let's start big. Let's start with the one that everyone has been hopefully watching, and that everyone hopefully has not been too disappointed by. My Hero Season 5.
Yep. New season of My Hero's airing. We are getting an arc all about, like, the boys fighting all the other boys.
The boys are fighting boys. The boys are fighting boys.
Girls.
There,
Nina,
girls.
we got a shot of Sue's ass for the first 6 episodes.
That
what
is
are you
true.
talking
They
about?
did love that ass.
We got some Froppy butt in this
We
one?
got some
Oh
Froppy
my
butt, and she
goodness.
is thick, built like a dump truck. That one.
Holy shit. To all our frog ass enjoyers out there, this is for you.
Hitting a lot of categories today.
Yeah,
all our
what can I
asphibians
say?
out.
We're a very inclusive podcast.
Oh my god.
So,
All right.
My Hero Season 5 has started. For those who have not been watching and kind of I'm wondering what's going on, we're back at school, and school shit is happening. We are doing a roundup of fights between different teams.
You know, school shit.
Between Class A and Class B. You know.
You remember
You remember
in high
gym
school
class?
when you beat the shit out of your classmates? It was a good time.
Oh god.
So without giving too much away, Team 1 or Class 1A and Class 1B are going head to head in a bunch of fights, and we are getting a lot of background on Deku's new powers.
Mm-hmm.
This is
He's
interesting.
having crazy
So
flashbacks.
this is kind of late in a show to have their first, like, well, I guess this isn't their first tournament arc, but to have a full tournament arc, like, 200 episodes in is, like, very interesting to me.
Hey, I'm never going to say no to a tournament arc. A tournament arc is God's gift to man. So,
Respect.
An anime is gift to me.
So that said, anything you could, like, discern about the quality of My Hero Season 5? Like, is it too early to call if this is going to be, like, one of the better seasons?
we're about 8 episodes in, and I can actually already tell you that no, this is not one of the better seasons. There is actually, you'll find within the first 4 episodes, there's a lot of, we actually broke it down into a joke in our household where, and then here's the part where we listen to Deku's flashback again. Here's the part where they show Froppy's ass again. And then here, we get new content about 1/3 of the way into the episode. So,
I only like one of those 3 things, damn it.
Don't worry, you get a lot of it, though. This is definitely not one of the stronger or more compelling seasons of My Hero Academia, but if you love character growth and you love character building and you want to see all of your favorite babies that have may not been in the show as much recently do some really fun shit, this is exactly up your alley.
It's a good opportunity to touch base with all the characters, see some fun interactions. It's not like great, but it's still very good. It's still quality My Hero.
And they're taking this time to definitely show characters developing new powers, developing new work, how they use their quirks efficiently. And everyone, even Mineta, gets to shine. So...
Impossible.
I mean, as much as that weak old grape can.
Hey, if it's still... My Hero doesn't have a time skip, right? It never does it one of those?
Don't think so. It hasn't so far.
That's good, because there's nothing like a good old anime time skip in which all the costumes get way, way worse and all the titties grow 10 times the size.
Although we get to see all their winter costumes, so there are new costumes to be seen. And yes, Kirishima is still shirtless because a hoe never gets cold.
I think it's funny to call them winter costumes when really it's just now they have sleeves.
Mama's got a cape. Mama's got a cape.
Good for her.
Shout out to all our sleeve heads out there. Napoleon Dynamite, I'm looking at you. Henry, I need to know about Vivy Fluorite Eye Song.
Okay. So
how do you say it?
So you got most of it right. It's Vivy or Vivy. Vivy Fluorite Eye Song is a anime original. It is not an adaptation from anything. It is essentially about a futuristic Vocaloid that works in an amusement park who gets contacted by an AI from the future and gets drafted into a mission to stop the oncoming AI apocalypse. So, 1,000 years in the future, all the AI are going to rise up and kill all the humans on the planet. And that's terrible. That's a terrible thing. So they send another AI back in time to get this Vocaloid who they know is going to survive to the end because her body is still around by the time that this apocalypse singularity problem happens. And so every few episodes, they introduce another singularity point, as they call them, where some major development in AI history is going to go down, and she intervenes and tries to shift the course of history.
I have a question for you, Henry.
Hit me.
So you have discussed Vocaloids in this anime. Would you say this is something for a fan of the Vocaloid, or like fans of the Vocaloid community, or would you say this is something more along the lines of Violet Evergarden, where it's just a pained woman with robotic attributes going through her life and trying to figure things out?
So there's a lot of very good music. She gives some very cool performances. She does sing. Her goal in life is to make the world smile with her song. And she can't do that if everybody's dead, so that's why she is bothering to save people at all. She's not super pained. I'd say the best comparison would be sort of like a Ghost in the Shell type thing. It's very cyberpunk and dealing with the nature of what it's like to be a person with a drive. One of something very cool that happened in one of the most recent episodes, she had been rebooted and lost some of her memories, and as they came back, the version of her without the memories had to come to terms with being a different person in the same body. And it delves into that cool stuff.
So I would say combination Ghost and Shell Carol Tuesday.
A little bit. It's got that same futuristic aesthetic, and it's absolutely gorgeous. They do really cool stuff with aspect ratio. They occasionally change art style into this hyper detailed, really well rendered style every now and then that's really gorgeous. And once she downloads all of the ass kicking protocols, she has some very, very cool fight scenes.
Oh, that's really, really cool, man. So the quality in this, it sounds fantastic. Any caveats?
No, I don't think so. I really, really like this show. This is one of my favorites. Occasionally I'll drift off of it and then come back and be like, oh yeah, this show's incredible. I really love cyberpunk stuff, and this is really scratching that itch.
Really, really cool. I wanted to ask one clarifying question, which is that, like, exactly what are Vocaloids? Because I know for me, I've always considered it like, you know, when the Japanese stole the gorillas, like the like, you are a fake. I thought Vocaloid was like a fake thing, like you are a fake idol online.
I'm kind of
making.
like bending the term a little bit. She has a physical body. She is an android, but she's like an artificially created pop star designed to entertain people at this amusement park, and she like slowly but surely becomes more and more and more and more and more popular as time goes on.
Okay, dope. And can you give us the full name of that again?
That is Vivy, Vivy, Fluoride Eyes Song. She's got some pretty crazy eyes. So maybe that's what it's named after. I don't know.
Okay, very interesting.
Maybe they put fluoride in her water. Who knows?
Could be. Check out the show notes for the names and spellings of all these things. We'll be leaving it there along with timestamps in the description. Anna, you look like something popped into your skull.
No, I just looked up exactly what Vocaloid is, and I always thought Vocaloid was the band, was like the specific characters. It is actually a voice synthesizer software product. So any AI type of singing thing that comes from this product is a Vocaloid. Yeah, most famous being Miku.
Yeah, you can buy Hatsune Miku and like license out her voice to put on a song, and you can like write out the lyrics and the what's the music? Do you just write music, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Music. And you can like plug that in, and then she sings it.
That's really interesting. So I guess in that sense, gorillas wouldn't be Vocaloids because it's a kind of digital front for real people.
Especially since the gorillas are voiced by and played by real people. They're just animated.
Oh, okay. Well, we are learning a lot today. Okay,
baby.
Fantastic.
The more you know.
I would like to take the reins to talk about one of the most emotion-evoking anime this season. I would like to talk about and this might be one of the biggest hits of the season with the memes that it's generating, but don't fuck with me, Miss Nagataro.
Nope.
Don't tease. Be nice. Okay, be nice to baby, Miss Nagataro.
So
don't
close.
Step on me, Miss Nagataro. I would hate that.
Don't run a train on me, Miss Nagataro, please.
Miss Nagataro, don't run a train on me. I totally
why are
want
your
that.
fingers in my mouth?
You
do that.
Baka Yamate? What? I don't want that. Okay, so it is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagataro is the name of this, correct?
Yes, that is the actual name of this show airing currently.
So I am not sure how to directly unpack this show because the basic plot of it is there is Miss Nagataro, who is kind of a what is the name of the fashion sense, the kind of like tans girl?
Garu.
Yeah, like a little Garu. Like
she doesn't have the blonde hair, but she does have the tan skin.
Definitely are.
Yeah, but so. What, Anna? You can double team this with me. You can run a train on Miss Nagataro with me today. So, how old are they? Because I think that's an important caveat.
They are in their first year of high school. Meanwhile, the show's male protagonist is in his second year and is their senpai.
Okay, so that's kind of a little weird. So that's probably like 16 and 17, respectively,
I would say
right?
Between 15 and 17 are the age of these characters.
Okay, gotcha. So the broad plot of the show is that there is a young protagonist named Simp-chan. I'm just gonna
named
call
Senpai.
Named Simp Senpai. And Simp Senpai looks like every boy my sister has ever dated. Just completely buckled dork who is writing test manga for himself, and it's very it's very bold. It's an isekai. He's like writing his own little isekai manga, and it's not of like the craziest quality, but he's pouring his heart out into it. And then Miss Nagataro, this like shark-toothed little tan goblin woman, comes up to him and proceeds to mercilessly bully the shit out of him for 23 minutes. And
every episode.
Yeah, so the whole anime is insanely popular, but it's basically like what if Brat Play was a anime, and I'm not really sure how to describe the appeal, but there is something to it. Anna, could you kind of like give me the assist on this?
Okay, so definitely part of the appeal is, first of all, who doesn't love torturing the love of their life? Who doesn't love torturing the love of their life? I might be sort of like blowing up my own spot here for a second, but there's something fun. There's something fun and sneaky about just being a little bitch sometimes, and it can be fun to watch it. As well as the fact that I must say, our Simp Senpai, he doesn't love it, but boy does he get used to it, and boy does it do something to him real fast. So I would say the actual draw of this anime, though, is the fact that eventually, around the 4-episode mark, it stops becoming just torture the anime, and it starts becoming about their relationship that is developing and growing and slowly, like, warming up to each other, exchanging phone numbers, going to the festival together. It's actually become something sweet where you can start seeing the vestiges of romance in it versus just brat play. The movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So after that little admission by Anna, Princess, if you're listening and you need a welfare check or a social worker to visit, blink twice in your next video. We will send somebody to help rescue you from this little goblin here. But it does explore. I think animation is a good, safe way to explore some of these more taboo emotions of like enjoying the torture and the kind of like difficult dynamic a little bit. And the way that it blossoms into something legitimately beautiful, and the way that they then grow to share mutual embarrassment, it brings up like a lot of those like fresh, powerful emotions of like being in high school.
It is shockingly wholesome, despite the fact that one half of the cast is berating and insulting and bothering the other half. It somehow becomes very cute and wholesome.
Plus, there's a lot of really, really good visual gags using Nagataro's body.
Naruto.
Yeah,
yes, using Narutoro.
Narutoro's body. Believe it.
Step on me, senpai. Believe it. I want to be your little worm boy. Believe it.
You can definitely tell that the like author used to draw doujins from like the facial expressions and some of the energy going on.
So if you want to discover feelings that you didn't know dwelled inside you that both make you very uncomfortable, but you find yourself hooked by them anyway, watch Miss Nagataro and become a different person. Watch Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagataro.
There we go.
Also, it's got such a fun opening. I just have to throw that out there as like an opening simp. Yeah.
It really does. It really does. Anna, I want to toss it to you. What do you want to cover next?
Yo, so dark horse of the season. Let's cover Odd Taxi.
I love it. It's so good.
You let me share Nagatoro with you, so I would like to share Odd Taxi with you.
Let's run a train on the walrus from Odd Taxi. Let's do it, Anna.
Yeah. All right. So here's my introduction to Odd Taxi. I loved BNA. I loved B-Stars. I am one of those criminals who thought that they were the height of entertainment and really, really, really wanted more of it. Mm-hmm. And when I saw there was a new all-animal cast anime coming out, I lost my shit. I watched the first episode and was shocked. It was not what I was expecting at all. I was normally with these sort of like animal casted, there's a lot of, we found either a lot of sex or a lot of goofiness. There is really neither in this show, and it actually very quickly becomes a murder mystery.
It's like a very grounded human drama, except that there are no humans in it.
Yes.
Well, and I think that that's part of the mystery of it too, because the art style is certainly everybody is an animal, but from some of the dialogue, you follow the main character who is a driver of a taxi who meets all sort of strange and interesting individuals, who winds up kind of in the center of this plot surrounding this missing girl. And the question that just lingers and lingers is, one, did he take this girl and is she currently like in his closet? You're not really sure about that until episodes and episodes in, but he's involved some way. But also there's something going on with his brain. He may not be a reliable narrator, and it's to the point where there's enough breadcrumbs in the show where you can make a compelling argument that these are not animals, that it's just how he views people. And that is one of maybe 24 little slow-driven, compelling mysteries that are just so gorgeously laid out. And I think that what Beastars really unlocked for me is that, especially in anime where there's so much hyper expressionism and just like, oh, this is this archetype, let's have these over-designed waifus and things like that, it really helps you kind of hit the reset button and appreciate the writing, appreciate the story that they're trying to tell, because you don't have full associations with, well, this is what this anime animal character means. And I love it. And the big meme online is people comparing the writing in this to the writing of Tarantino, and I don't disagree. It's really deeply mature, funny in a way that most anime isn't funny. This isn't schlocky, just kind of like, oh no, I tripped and I put my dick inside of you, oh no, my pee-pee's out. It's not that type of ecchi humor. It's really mature, human-based writing, despite the cast of whack-ass animals.
One of my favorite moments in the first episode is when they have a conversation about Bruce Springsteen, and the gorilla doctor can't pronounce the name. Yeah. That's the type of humor we're dealing with. It's not like big over-the-top reactions.
It's like if HBO made an anime.
Kinda.
It's like if HBO made an anime.
It's like HBO's Animals, but not, though. Don't watch that show. That show's terrible. Don't watch Animals. Forget I said that.
I tried so hard.
But I do gotta say, On Taxi is my current favorite of the season. Oh. It's something where everything kind of screams like this. It might be. This is the one I'm so worried is going to go under the radar. Mm-hmm. I'm getting the sense that this might be a one-seasoner anyway, just in terms of the context of it. But like, if there is more in the future, this is just the type of shit that I wish anime was only stuff that is this brave, this well-written, this unique. And I can't recommend it enough. Anything else you want to throw out there about it?
I'm just saying, I really hope it sticks the landing. It's been doing so well, and it has really been carving out a niche for itself that I haven't seen in a lot of anime recently at all. Yeah. And I hope it sticks the landing, because I also don't think it's going to get a second season. It really hasn't been that popular. It really hasn't been getting the traction that I think it deserves. Mm-hmm. So go big, go home.
Yeah, and like, to sort of pivot a little bit, this is kind of the agony and ecstasy of seasonal anime. You get all these new shows with new worlds and new ideas going on, but it is quite rare for there to be new seasons of these shows. They're almost always one-season wonders. They've got to be like really popular or pretty damn successful to get a second season.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that said, if it does stick the landing, I think this has the potential to be a classic. I really 100%. Hope everyone watches On Taxi. For me, if there's only one thing I could recommend here, it would be On Taxi. I really like it. Although I'm really curious about Vivy Floridi's song. It sounds really good.
You did a good job of selling it.
Yeah,
it's Henry, a damn good show.
Yeah, you got a couple more to cover, Henry. What's our next one on the list?
Well, let's talk about a seasonal anime that did get a second season. Let's talk about Megalo Box Season 2. So Megalo Box is a series about sci-fi boxing. Everybody have these like big exoskeletons on while they do big punches. And the first season was just kind of like a pretty standard boxing story. It follows the underdog who's got a cool gimmick. It's Gearless Joe. He doesn't wear his exoskeleton to box, and he's fighting the big corporate overdog. But in season 2, it picks up, I believe, like 10 years after the events of season 1, where he has gone from being the #1 champ of the universe to essentially a traveling hobo competing in like underground prize fights. And you have to follow him as he tries to re-enter the world of Megalo boxing and make amends for all of the people he left behind. It's so much more mature than the first season. And I think you can kind of jump right in here. It's Megalo Box Season 2 Nomad. It's like really interesting the way that they take these characters that you met in the first season and complicate them and deepen their character arcs, and I've been really enjoying it.
Very nice, very nice. I've heard so many good things about Megalo Box, and to hear that the second season is just as good, if not better, is really encouraging. So
I don't watch Megalo Box quite as frequently as Henry does, but one thing that I think that he really should mention is the fact that the animation in Megalo Box, both season 1 and season 2, is phenomenal and very unlike anything that we've really seen.
It's kind of one of a kind right now. It's trying really hard to capture the 90s anime aesthetic. They do that with really thick outlines, but kind of sketchy art style. The color use is really interesting.
A little grainy.
They do this really interesting thing. I don't know exactly the direction, but they render the images at high res, then downscale them so that they have that same kind of fuzzy texture that a lot of 90s anime had.
If you liked the look of Cowboy Bebop, and if you liked the tone of Cowboy Bebop, I think you're really going to like Megalo Box.
Mm-hmm. That's the style that they're trying to chase.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm almost regretful that we're doing this rundown because this is just going to consume my entire life. There's nothing like talking with your
Welcome to the churn.
There's nothing like talking with your homies about anime that is amazing that you haven't seen yet. That that hits quite that same note is going to destroy my life. My whole week is going to be friggin' verklempt. And that said, anybody, if you're a fan of any of these shows in particular and you want a full episode dive on these, definitely reach out, shoot us an email or a DM. Always happy to cover it. But that said, we did Odd Taxi. That was also on my list. We did Don't Be Nagataro. We did.
Please don't be Nagatoro.
Please don't be Nagataro. Oh, no, you are Nagataro.
She's been Nagatoro the whole time.
Ah! And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling simps. So let's talk about 86. This is another big hyped up anime. So this is a takeoff of a Japanese light novel series called 86 that has 9 volumes. It's been around for a long time. And well, I guess since 2017, which is the ancient in terms of, light novels.
A million years ago.
Million years ago.
Why, I haven't heard that years since I was a boy.
And there was a really brilliant article on Polygon recently about kind of the death of the YA dystopia and in the West and why that kind of fell out of favor in writing after it had been so kind of reanimated and done again and again and again with, Maze Runner and Divergent and Revergent and the Hunger Games and the Full Games. But this is something that totally reboots that and revitalizes it. To me, the basic concept is that there are two warring states. There is the Republic of San Magnolia and the Empire of Jod. So they've been at war for 9 years.
Yeah, bro.
Cha, the Empire of Cha. So the Republic of San Magnolia, which is very much like an anime Germany where everybody dresses like it's Germany but has white hair instead. And there's totally not an oppressed population of people of color that's for hiding and putting in the death match. Okay, that's the twist. That's the twist. And it happens within a minute in the show. Basically, they've been at war with the Empire of Jod for 9 years. And the Empire of Jod has invented all of these wicked dope automatons and AI that just hop in the little Terminator bug robots and they go and it's an overwhelming force, and the Republic of San Magnolia tells their people don't worry everybody, we're totally just as good as technology at them. Our guys, we're also great AI, definitely not just brown people that we've shoved inside of these robots to go die against the Jad people.
Zero casualties. No one has ever died in this war.
Very nice. So, crazy fucking twist. There are people inside of the Republic's robots, and they are dying. A bunch. And there's a bunch of really great twists that happen later on. But all in all, it is a really, I think, compelling thriller that has really smart storytelling. It doesn't always tell. It doesn't always tell instead of showing. There's a lot of really great non-dialogue moments that help explain the world a little bit. My one worry is that, for the same reason that Attack on Titan got a lot of controversy for the way that it portrayed some World War II things, which I think that it has kind of sidestepped enough. I think that it has kind of, it could have been a lot worse in Attack on Titan. This one I'm just not too sure about. I'm not too sure about the all-white and kind of like Aryan Empire, even though they have white hair of like San Magnolia, and the fact that all of their people of color who are called Colorado, like the name of their like subrace. Yeah, the name of their subrace is like the Colorado, and they're referred to not even as humans, but like they're just little pigs. There's little piglets. It's just driving our machines. It's totally fine. So
a lot of fascism, a lot of cultural genocide.
Lot of fascism. It's like a really striking image the first time you see a crowd shot in Sag Magnolia, because all of a sudden you're like, oh, these people all look identical. This is gonna be a problem.
Yes. And so that said, this is super not pro-fascism, and even though I with Western eyes might look on the name Colorado and be like, is that the one, Chief? It still has really gorgeous storytelling. I haven't really bumped up against any intensely like problematic messages in this. It's clearly anti-fascist. It's clearly like anti-colonial, but it does from the episodes I've seen, and I'm like 5 in, there are some really complicated twists that are exciting to watch, but I'm currently on the fence about whether I think this is like a great or an average show. I don't know. Have the review seen any more 86?
I think I'm up to date with it. The pilot is really, really compelling, and the rest of it has been like good, but again, not great and not. I'm looking forward to them progressing in the story, because right now they've been a little bit stationary. The series follows this woman in the Sag Magnolia army who is a handler, which means she like is on a Zoom call at all times with the people that are fighting for her. The reason why it's called 86 is because there are 85 districts in San Magnolia, and that's the only place that real people live, right? And then anybody else who lives outside, who is one of the Colorado, are referred to as the 86. The 86th district, they are treated as disposable. And so as you're following this woman, she seems to be the only person in the controlling class of the army who treats the 86 like they're people. And she gets put in charge of the Spearhead Division, which are the 86 that are the deepest into enemy territory. And you follow as she develops a relationship and like some sort of bond with all the soldiers working underneath her.
Yeah, and it's hard fought too, because they're just dealing with basically like a string of handlers who are just, of the ruling race class, and like the way that they often will deal with their handlers, like, okay, that's really great. Oh wow, you're being so nice to us, ma'am, as they're doing the hand jack off motion, because they're just literally, cattle to die.
The reason why she took over the Spearhead Division is because the last handler killed himself. Mm-hmm. We don't know how he did it, but one of the main guys in the like fighting force got that dude to kill himself. There is a reason he is referred to as the Reaper.
Yeah. So if any of this sounds compelling, this is not at all a bad show. The action does feel a little disorienting to me sometimes. I feel like they could have a better handle on like the camera during some of these interesting like fight scenes. But it is a compelling story. So definitely not a trash tier anime. Just hasn't proven its stripes yet. So we'll see where it goes.
Do you know what studio animated this one?
That would be Studio A1.
A1.
A1, okay.
Yeah, A1 Pictures. It definitely isn't not bad at all, but that said, I think we've talked enough about 86. I'm going to 86
I just want to mention one more thing. The music is done by Hiroyuki Sawano, he of the Sawano Drop. He does a lot of really good, intense anime fight music, and you might know him from a series called All Know Is Zero that came out in like 2013. He does really, really great stuff. So maybe listen to 86 and give that a try.
Very nice, very nice. So, Anna, I'm seeing Zombieland on the list here, and we only got like I think 2 more after this. But what is Zombieland?
Zombieland is actually, I believe it's on its 2nd season as well.
Mm-hmm. It is Zombieland Saga Revenge this season.
So this is another second seasoner. This is another one that we saw. I think it premiered last spring.
Something like that.
Yeah, the first
last
season
spring or
premiered
like the year before that.
Or the year before. It is basically. Let me make sure that I have this right. But yeah, so a young singer dies unexpectedly and wakes up as a zombie, and then starts having to fight a Japanese prefecture. That is.
Wait, did you say a senator dies?
No, a young Japanese singer.
Yeah.
Singer.
So like the first episode of the first season, she's like, I can't wait to grow up and be a singer. Steps off of her front curb, and immediately Truck Kun comes out of nowhere and bam!
Good old Truck Kun.
It's very abrupt.
Okie dokie. So what is this? Sounds of questionable quality, but convince me, change my mind. What's happening here?
Do you want something goofy and sort of full of fun fighting action scenes? This is for you. I think it's goofy.
I don't think it has fighting action though. It's like an Idol series.
Oh, it's got some fighting in it.
A little bit. I also haven't watched the most recent season at all, but I remember from the first season, she like gets essentially brought back to life as a zombie and is put into a band with other girls from different time periods, and they all have to become this idol band to reinvigorate their local prefecture.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are zombies in this world then? Are they just guys, people? Like, what's the deal? Are they bad?
I don't think there are any other zombies.
And I also think that they use the zombie thing as a shtick.
What?
They don't know that they're they don't know that they're actually dead.
No, they do. They do.
Well, it shows
their arms fall off. Their skin is dying. It's sort of like the old voodoo zombie style. They're like just reanimated corpses. Not like disease zombies or plague zombies or any of that stuff. It's this one guy who is their handler, who is the craziest person you'll ever see. He's got too much energy and is just very odd and off. He brought them back to life because he wants to make a super group of all the greatest girls of all time. So there's like a biker girl from the 80s. There's a geisha. There's this little like trans girl in the group, and there's one girl who is just 100% I want to eat brains. I have no like just the whole way through.
I like that. That's fun.
If you're looking for something like silly, if you're looking for something that's like a very, very low effort watch, Zombieland Saga's for you.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good idol show with a very good comedic gag at the center of it. And
funnily enough, there is another idol show that is premiering halfway through this season. And so for once, there will be 2 idol shows premiering in the same season.
My goodness.
Very nice. Which one will win? We will have to stay tuned to find out. But this is, would you like recommend this as a watch or like?
Yes.
Yeah, give it a try.
I think it's fun.
Oh, okay. Well, if you say so, then I'm gonna watch it. Okay, so every season there is one anime in which the entire discourse around it is I cannot stop crying and fucking farting and pissing myself in terror and sadness. I watch this, I become a puddle, I melt my heart. Why can't I stop watching this? And this season, that anime is what, Henry?
It is To Your Eternity. To Your Eternity is probably the most high-profile new manga adaptation this season. It follows an orb that gets sent to Earth by God, and it can change shape by absorbing stimulation from the world around it. So it spends a little while as a rock, and then as moss on the rock, and eventually this wolf passes away on top of it, and it absorbs some of that wolf's soul and comes back to life as a wolf. And this is all in the first episode. I would say some of the season has been a little hit or miss for me, but that first episode is probably the best episode of television I've seen this year. It is so incredibly moving and textured and like thematically rich, because once this orb comes back to life as the dog, he meets this young boy living out alone in the frozen tundra and follows him as he tries to reconnect with his clan. And like Pax mentioned, you're gonna cry at the end of the episode. It's very, very moving.
Because this follows Godball. Godball's name is Fushi, right?
Yeah. This series operates similarly to Vivy on a very interesting timescale, because this ball is immortal. It cannot be killed. It will live forever. And so we're kind of starting at the very beginning of human civilizations. After he meets with the little boy in the snow, he walks for like a year through the tundra and eventually ends up in this forest with a tribal clan who are oppressed by an even bigger tribal empire. It follows that story. It keeps moving throughout the ages, and like it's really interesting to see that world. You very rarely see that time period explored in fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. And the ball is named Fushi because it's named after the actual god ball, the Fushigi, right? The ball that you balance around and do the tricks with and slide on your arms.
And it's also a little bit of a pun on the Japanese word for immortal. I do not know what it is, but I've heard them mention that it's a pun in the show.
Oh, very nice. Would you say that the show is ultimately hopeful, that there is a element of like love for humanity in it, or is it just
Absolutely.
sad pants? Okay.
It's like Fushi is learning how to love humanity and how to be a part of human society. It is definitely more hopeful than hopeless. He gets put in these terrible situations where people are hurt for bad reasons, but he finds the humanity within that, and like it's very touching throughout.
Oh my goodness. The mangaka Yoshitoki Oyama named it because his it's a female mangaka. That is amazing. It seems like just every female mangaka we cover is just batting 1,000. But it sounds like she learned her grandmother was going to pass away due to an illness, and she asked her grandmother to name her series for her, and she chose To Your Eternity. Oh my God!
The show's too moving. Damn it!
I haven't even met Godball that turns into Wolfball yet, and I feel so sad. Oh my God. Okay, well, that's very emotional. Oh, I'm grateful I'm alive. The last thing we have on our list, I believe, and real quick, Anna, I know that Shin-chan, do you really watch Shin-chan season like 29?
To go to bed.
Very nice, very nice. So
it's goofy, it's fun. Why not? He's got a little penis. It's shaped like an elephant.
My God, Jesus Christ!
Sharing the important facts with our audience.
I just want to. When it's late at night and I need to fall asleep, I just need to, listen to some guy that's got a little penis.
Nothing tuckers me out.
You want to know penis. What? It's a big part of the show. So there. So sue me. But yes, Shin-chan is still going strong. It's still doing the same bullshit you knew it for. And it can be sweet. It can be sour. And then it's gone.
Much like the little penis. So it's worth saying here that despite this being a seasonal anime rundown, there are like a dozen shows that are just, that's way underballing it, like dozens of shows that are just ongoing forever and ever, things that are like many, many, many seasons in that we may not be covering. We're mostly
we're not going to mention the One Piece anime, but that's still airing.
Yes, and
we have to cover Tokyo Revengers.
Ooh, do it, Anna, take it. Let's do Tokyo Revengers, then we'll talk Mars
Tokyo Revengers is one of my personal favorites from this year, and it is about a young lad who discovers that his, first and only girlfriend, has died due to gang violence, and tries to figure out a way to save her. And in doing so, ends up meeting her brother and going back in time to when he was in middle school.
He goes back 12 years into the past when he was still in this relationship with this girl.
And tries to relive his life, tries to save all these people in the gang wars, tries to stop his friend from committing suicide, tries to it's a really, really interesting story about time travel and gang violence and this one little kid who looks exactly the same 12 years later, except his hair color has changed. It's awesome.
It's sort of like Erased.
It's a lot like Erased.
It is almost exactly like Erased.
But I loved Erased.
But instead of being like a seinen slice of life drama, it is a shonen delinquent action series.
Okay, and so the main guy, he's trying to dissolve the gang, run the gang. What's his?
He is not trying to dissolve the gang. Sorry, my ankle. He is not trying to dissolve the gang. He is trying to steer them in a different path while still being part of a gang, so that they don't 12 years in the future end up murdering everybody.
Okay, gotcha. Very interesting. That sounds like a lot of fun. So I think last up on the list then we have Mars Red, which I'm completely unfamiliar with. Have you both seen it?
I think I'm the only person that I know that has seen Mars Red. Mars Red is a period drama set in turn of the century, like 1900s Japan. All about a military, or a branch of the military, that are fighting vampires. It is all presented in widescreen. It's got this very watercolory aesthetic. It's got like very stark colors and has some pretty compelling drama around vampires. You don't see a lot of vampires in anime, just because the Japanese understanding of vampires is very different from the Western one. This is like if Western vampires infiltrated Japan and then they got some vampires of their own and tried to fight them. I'm making it sound more like an action series, but I'd say it's a period piece first, horror series second.
Okay, dope. And is it good?
It's pretty good. I enjoy it when I watch it. I just don't feel pulled towards it. I let it drift into the background. I've seen the first 5 episodes, and I think there have been 8 or 9 released. I just kind of have drifted away from it. There's another thing about seasonal anime is that there's a lot of it, and a lot of it is pretty good. So stuff that is a 7 out of 10 drifts to the background when you've got 4 9s in front of you.
Interesting. So, I mean, and that's why we're very grateful to have you, the savant Henry Rosenberg, who is the only person in the world you claim to have seen Mars Red. Yeah. Whereas true anime connoisseurs like Anna and I would much rather spend our time learning about Shin-chan's little penis. So
everybody is welcome to their own priorities.
Don't kink shame me.
As a sequel to Wonder Egg Priorities, little penis priorities. Oh, Jesus Christ. So we have covered a lot of dope shit this episode. We've got Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagataro, Odd Taxi 86. We have Viva Fluorite, Eyes Song, To Your Eternity, Megalo Box 2, Mars Red, Odd Taxi, My Hero Season 5, Zombieland, and Tokyo Revengers. Sounds like a really packed season, but if we had to recommend one anime, hey bitch, go watch this shit, to the average person, what is the one that we're putting out there today?
To the average person, I would say Vivy Fluorite Eyes. I think it is pretty textbook quality cyberpunk anime, and is a straightforward enough story that people can latch onto it.
Right.
I honestly would say Megalo Box. If you are looking for something that is going to be beautiful to watch, has a great 2 seasons under its belt, and is going to make you really feel something, Megalo Box is definitely that for you.
Okay, awesome.
But then to your higher class of person, if we're going beyond just the ordinary, it's got to be Odd Taxi.
It's got to be Odd Taxi.
It's got to be Odd Taxi.
I agree with Henry.
That's my thing. So that's a much. God, that is my one recommendation. I think is Odd Taxi, just for everybody. I know that it's odd, but like compared to a lot of this other shit, way less odd. It's way less odd than the weird race politics of '86, and I hardcore recommend. And so that is kind of the perfect end recommendation, I think, where we each have a different show we're recommending for different reasons, and that's the ideal ending. A little something for everybody. So check out Odd Taxi, Megalo Box 2, and Vivy Fluorite Eyes. And let us know what you think in the comments. Did we miss anything? Shoot us a DM or message if there's anything else that we need to cover or something that we've overlooked. But otherwise, is there anything we wanted to add today, gang?
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. We're pretty fucking fire.
Absolutely. Hit up Brotakus Podcast on Twitter. Hit up Highly Animated. Hit up Shankity Stick. And I am Pax Lilin on Twitter. But that said, I think that is a great place to end the episode, gang. I think we've made a lot of good ground, right?
Good job.
Good.
Did it.
Good job. Proud of you guys. So to all the other people in the Lil Penis gang out there, thank you so much for listening. Please drop us a like and review in your favorite podcasting app. If you're on YouTube, hit all the buttons that make the algorithm go brrr, and have a fantastic day. This has been Brotakus for this week. We got some really special stuff in the pipeline for the rest of May. Or it's June now. It's June. Thank you so much for listening. I am Pax. I am joined by Henry and Anna, and this has been Brotakus. We will see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.